Good afternoon from rainy and windy Northeast Ohio. This is Mike Abernathy from Buckeye State Credit Union. Today we're going to take a little break from our series about improving your credit, and today we're going to give you a little peek behind the curtain when it comes to decisioning a loan and one very specific area that we're looking at, which is your credit report. So let's go ahead and dig into that. There's a lot of different things that go into decisioning a loan, but one of the most important is extracting information from the credit report that your credit score might not be taking into consideration. So a lot of folks call me and email me and ask, how is Buckeye doing it? How is Buckeye State Credit Union able to do loans for folks that might be considered subprime or sub 600, specifically in that 550 to 540, 530 credit range? And the answer is actually very simple. We have a multi-layered approach, but the foundation of that approach is actually looking at the credit report and not relying solely on the score. So what are we looking at in that report? We're looking at 4 different things. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 1, the loan amounts that are in your history. So quite simply, we want to look at where have you been successful and where have you had trouble. So obviously it's very clear we want to try and stay away from areas that you've had trouble because we want to set you up for success. So we're going to take that into consideration and say maybe this person who has had 3 or 4 loans between $15,000 and $20,000 and they've paid well, but they've had 1 or 2 loans over here that have gone over $20,000 and they haven't gone so well. So that we're looking at historical data here, trying to make a determination. How can we set you up to win? So that's number 1. Number 2, we're going to look at the loan payment history, and not just, did they pay it on time or not on time. We're actually looking at the loan payment amount. So the loan amount itself is going to tell us so much, but the actual loan payment's going to tell us how were you able to handle that debt in comparison to your income. Could you comfortably pay it, or were you struggling to pay it? We're trying to extract that type of data by looking at what the payments were on successful loans. So maybe in that successful loan range, you were paying anything over $200 to $250 pretty well. But once we start to get into that $300, $350 range, we started to see some trouble. So that sends up the flag to us is that maybe at that time, they got a little extended a little bit. Maybe they bit off just a little bit more than they can chew. Who knows? A lot of different things could have happened, but the data suggests, though, whatever the event might have been, is that here's a loan amount that they seem to work well within, and here's a payment they work well within. So just let's set those off to the side for now, and let's go to number 3. Number 3 is the type of loan. So in general, you're looking at mortgages, which are real estate loans. You're going to look at auto loans, speaks for themselves. And then you're going to have unsecured loans, which can come in a multitude of different forms. The most common is the credit card, which is considered a revolving debt. Then you have a signature loan, which is an installment debt. And then you have student loans, which are a monster amongst themselves. So the reason we look at the type of loan is very simple. Not every loan is set up the same. So if you think about borrowing money, and let's take a look at a credit report, and if you have a fixed payment every month, you've done very well. But let's say you have this variable payment that the line of credit, which is your credit card at this point, the payment could be different every month. The payment might be really small and not paying down much of the balance, and you pay, and the balance really isn't going down, and maybe frustration or impatience sets in, and the credit card falls by the wayside. So maybe when we're looking at lending money, a revolving line of credit or a credit card is not going to be the right answer for you. There might also be the situation where anything that's had collateral has been paid well. pay the car well, pay the house well, but maybe that unsecured loan didn't go so well. So maybe we look at a plan here that has a little bit of skin in the game, where maybe we need collateral. Not always the case. Just using some different scenarios to throw out for the benefit of this one-sided conversation I'm having with myself. But ultimately, we kind of want to see, where are the sweet spots as far as loan types, and what loan types we should stay away from, because again, the end goal is set you up to succeed. So item number 4, time period of prosperity and time period of trouble. So we want to look at that credit report, and we're going to be able to know pretty quickly, this person has done really well during this period of time, and then boom, there's a roadblock. And all of a sudden, one thing or multiple things are not getting paid during this period of time. And so you can also tell that you may have got past that time period and started paying as agreed again. So that data says that this might have just been a temporary bump in the road, that you can look right on the report and look straight down and say, okay, we see the period of time here. Something happened. It may not be necessary for us to know what happened, but the data portion of it is telling us that was a bump in the road. Something happened there. And so based on what we can see, it's still ongoing, or based on what we see, they've already moved past it, but the credit score may not have caught up yet. So these are really important things to consider when we're lending, and especially when we're trying to help people recover their credit and get from maybe that 550 to 620 to 680 to 750. The idea is to incrementally bring our borrowers up so that they can ultimately, in the long run, save a lot of money in interest costs. So again, not a lot of institutions take a look at it that way, but this is our foundation, and this is why we are able to go out and help folks that maybe others are not able to help. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and stay tuned as we're going to be getting back into the Improve Your Credit series very soon. Take care, everybody.